Are you ready for a life-changing experience? Join us for the Straightway Spiritual Awakening Conference coming to the Nashville area. Mark your calendars for July 11, 2026. Doors open at 10 a.m. sharp. This is a powerful event focused on biblical community living, healing, and deliverance. Whether you are looking for freedom from mental illness and trauma, victory over addictions and strongholds, or physical healing for your body, this is your opportunity to find restoration and strength. Don't wait. Get registered today. Use the Eventbrite link on the flyer to register. We look forward to seeing you there.
Well, glory to the King. Go ahead, Michael Israel. Start off, my man.
All right. Shalom, 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 y'all. Shalom. Welcome to Ask the Elect on Hold Fast Wednesday. We are looking at my calendar about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks here. Next week we'll be 3 weeks out from the Feast of Pentecost. Looking forward to that. With that, pastors, I'm going to hand it over to y'all to greet the saints.
Well, we bless you all in the precious name of Jesus. We do. Hallelujah. Glory to the King. Man, Father Yahweh has been good to us, and it's just been a blessing. We finally got some rain up here, much needed rain. Other than that, I'm looking forward to trying to get ourselves ready, man. We got so many testimonies coming in to tell us exactly, witnesses of what Jesus is doing right now in real time, healing these people. You know, if you're missing these messages and they're not sinking deep down, at least do this. Try not to cancel out your faith by the way that you're so used to running your mouth. Could you do that? Because if you don't learn how to govern your mouth, man, you can believe y'all for something, and then you can end up in the spirit and cancel out every single thing that you believe y'all from. We got to be sober-minded, Israel, because I want to see you healed, delivered, and blessed. That's what I want to do, man. But I'm glad to have each and every last one of you here. Should be a good broadcast here tonight, man. Pass me here.
Hey, shalom, shalom to all the righteous. Israel, bless y'all abundantly. I definitely agree with what Pastor just said. We definitely need to watch and guard the things that we say come out of our mouths, because, you know, the testimonies as he spoke to that are coming forth are nothing short of amazing. I'm telling you, the Father is really, truly healing his people through his salvation, as he has always done for us. You know, so it's definitely wonderful, and I can't wait to hear these testimonies as well. Definitely looking forward towards the broadcast tonight. This is the broadcast that you can't exhaust. Let me just say it that way, because, you know, a lot of times people will say, well, this is one of the subjects that I hear y'all speak of, and y'all might speak of this often or whatnot. But it's one of those subjects you cannot exhaust. These things need to be honed in on, because if this gets right, everything, there's nothing in society, there's nothing that this culture, this nation, there's nothing that they can do once we get this dynamic correct and get it correct as the Father tells us to do it. So bless all y'all. Looking forward to the broadcast.
All right. Yeah, y'all, we have an awesome topic this evening, and you know, one of the big things, I don't think people really realize how critical, how important, how big of a deal biblical marriage is. It's like the building block of a nation, you could say. And what I've been seeing, pastors been talking about this for a while. Pastor Amir has, I know I watched his Ask the Elect, and he's been speaking on this also recently. And Pastor Amir kind of was part of the catalyst for coming up with some of these questions I'm going to be asking him this evening. And it all surrounds the importance of marriage and just how critical It is. And I could tell you as a head of assembly, I see the difference of brothers who come into this truth where they came out of a family that was intact, and then the condition of brothers and sisters who come into this truth coming out of broken families. There's a difference. But we're going to get into all that. But with that, I want to get into the first question. And the first question is pretty straightforward. And it's talk about the importance of biblical marriage. And I want to kind of preface it with I would like the pastors to also hit on it from different angles, not just from the typical spiritual standpoint, but also just how it affects people's lives in other ways, if they could. But anyway, with that, that's the first question. Talk about the importance of biblical marriage. Pastors, I hand it over to you.
Whew, boy, that's a broad question, isn't it? Because you can literally be here till tomorrow morning if you're going to explain it. But we got a few things we need to hit here for a second in order to comprehend what's going on today. It's important for us to understand as Israelites what has been done to us, what has been taken away from us, and what has been denied us. That makes sense? What has been done to us, what has been taken away from us, and what has been denied us. You know, we live in a country that's basically built on lies, both civilly and religiously. There's nothing truth about this culture whatsoever at all. And you go read the scriptures, you'll see that the whole entire nation of Israel was built on biblical marriage or built on polygyny. And I might submit to this. If we were actually living the way that the patriarchs showed us, the way that is laid out, where it's literally over 40 or 50 men that's in the scriptures that live this lifestyle, I submit that we would have strong families. I submit that we'd have a strong nation. I also would submit that we live in a culture that does not want strong families or strong nations. You have to understand that Satan has got it figured out. Whether it be through a nation or secular religion, if you can keep people divided, then the government can stay in control. But we're about his kingdom and his government. That's what we're about. Think about the power behind having a family on one heart, one mind, one soul, and one spirit. Think about the economic advantage, which they don't want us to have. Imagine this, and let me give you, it's definitely hypothetical because I'm no longer 30 years old. Imagine if I started this at 25 or 30 years old and I had me 3 Ishas, all right, at that time. Watch this. Well, right now, I'm a few months from 60. Do you realize what type of a nation I could have already have built? And what if I was associated or affiliated with more brothers, more patriarchal brethren that was actually in this same type of obedient biblical lifestyle? Think about that for a second. Economically, man, and this is what they don't want. You can literally run a small town or a small city easily. We could easily depopulate or overtake in population a whole entire township, and then be the mayor, be the governor, be the sheriff, be the police chief. We could, and I'm telling you, the whole thing. And we could continue to keep buying homes. I mean, building homes, buying up lands, expanding the family. Everybody would have honor for the old patriarch because he has set the way and he's teaching his family how to actually go. See, this is a source of power that our enemies recognize that they don't want us to have. And so for all of you that side to this monogamy only society, you're siding with the Hasatan that is actually giving the United States of America and the rest of these Caucasian nations their laws and their statutes and commandments, which is diametrically opposed to Yahweh's. Marriage, biblical marriage, is literally the remedy for all of this sexual perversion that we see going on today. Because we'll be in a patriarchal type of lifestyle, everybody will be beholden towards the truth of Yah's word, because that's the way we'll be reared and raised. So I can go on and on and on this subject about biblical marriage and the purpose of it and everything. But man, I tell you, when you get to, if I'm sure we're going to get to a little bit later about why this society is in the shape and the condition it's in. And I'm going to tell you the reason why this society is in the shape and condition it's in, because it has spurned the law of Yahweh. It has rejected the law of Yah. And Yah says, since you have rejected it, you're not going to be no priest to me whatsoever at all. And we are looking at what happens in a monogamy-only culture when, number one, they go against the law, statutes, and commandments of Yah. And number two, when they have no solutions and no answers for all the sexual perversion that's going on, we're watching see the decline of a society that happens. And what happens, according to Leviticus chapter 18, to this society. We are literally worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. We are literally worse than that. And so we're looking at a society that is opposed to biblical marriage. And in biblical marriage, guess what? We didn't have all these divorce rates. We didn't have all these fatherless homes. We didn't have Jezebels ruling and trying to be the patriarch and the matriarch. I know some of you women out there think you got power because you're a matriarch. Every woman that is married is a matriarch. That doesn't mean that you got any power. The power solely belongs to the man and the man alone, period, point blank. He is, in his family, the head of that household, and he has a head. But the remedy to all society's social ills is the structure that Yah has laid out from the very beginning. Now, can a man be monogamous? Sure, he can, if he chooses to. But don't sit up there and condemn a man and a woman that chooses biblical marriage and to live that lifestyle and be blessed of the Most High Yah. You think about this. How is it in this society right here, America, and somebody who says, or a country that says, in God we trust? We need to start asking ourselves a question, what God that is. Because in 2015, the Supreme Court of this nation said, diametrically opposed to public law 98-120 of what Ronald Reagan signed in law, that the Bible is the law of the land. They turned around and they legalized gay marriage. If they should have legalized anything, they should have legalized biblical marriage. But they don't want to do that because it has to do with taxes. They don't want you to end up receiving more tax revenue back from the government that you're paying into. Everything has to do with follow the money trail. But we would be a stronger nation, a big nation, because remember what Egypt was afraid of when we were in the land of Goshen, us multiplying exponentially, so much so they had so much fear that they had to put us, they enslaved us, stripped us of weapons, enslaved us, and they ruled over us with rigor. Showing that when you are part of this biblical family right here, our women are prolific when it comes to bearing seed. And we're in a ministry that we are without excuse. If you barren, y'all can open up that womb. You just got to learn how to humble yourself, man. But they don't want no holy nation on this earth because they're too busy trying to destroy the earth. You remember the Georgia Guidestones that was there until somebody hijacked them. You remember what they have already had in place and all in the plan of this new world order right here. They're not trying to increase the society. They're not trying to increase the world and the population of people. They're on the decrease of it. So they got to do everything they can to come up with creative ways and use their tools that's in their basket in order to deceive the simple-minded people to not obey Yah, but to obey them. Pastor Mir.
No, this is a extremely important question. As Pastor said, it's very broad, okay? Because you can go in so many different directions with this. But I will say this, okay? the importance of biblical marriage. Number one, I'll start with this. I'll start with headship. Okay. What we have to understand is this is the original foundation of it all. The Father created this earth. He made man, and then he said it's not good for man to be alone. And out of the man, he made the woman. The man has headship over the woman. And what do you see in this world that we live in? What do you see, especially in this country? It is geared to go against headship. It is geared to go against the authority in a home, which is the man. This is why you can see every TV show, every movie, every song, social media. It's always geared to the destruction of the family. It's always geared to the destruction of the man out of the family. I mean, you can think of movies and stuff that they would have, the TV shows. I remember even when I was younger, songs that we call them simp songs, that the dude would be begging the woman for her companionship and I mean, just so many different things. But all of it is geared to tear down one, which is what? The head. We are taught in this society to despise the authority. And not just any authority, but righteous authority that Yah put forth. So it's very important, number one, to understand headship. It's also important to understand roles. That is one thing that has been totally forgotten and abandoned in the society that we live in, is roles. And this is why you can see marriage, righteous biblical marriage, is on a decline. Why? Because nobody knows their roles. Everything has been reversed. You got the men who act like the women in gossip and slander and whatever else they're doing, complaining, murmuring, griping. But then you have the women who think they're the men. Or they have the women who think that they are equal to the men. You can go on social media right now and just type women rights or women equality. Just think about that. Women equality. If you can't, with all common sense, see that a woman is not equal to a man, just by looking at it. But what is pumped out here, that they're equal, they can do the same thing as a man. And any righteous and wise woman should understand and know, no, I can't. And nor do I want to, because I wasn't created to do that. So it's very important when it comes to biblical marriage to know about headship, authority, and roles. Another thing Pastor alluded to, what they are afraid of, the multiplying that would take place. Come on, if you wanted to destroy a people, you have to destroy them from having offspring and having it quickly. We know that we are still in the land of our captivity. The book told us in Deuteronomy that we would be shipped, okay, into Egypt, into the house of bondage again, and this time by way of ships, okay? We know when you see the family, especially of the melanated man, what was Egypt trying to do even when you read in the book? They were trying to destroy the offspring of Yah's people. Why? Because they were multiplying and multiplying very quickly. That didn't just happen off of monogamy. What it happened off of is a man having more than one woman. And because he had more than one woman, and it was done righteously, it just wasn't, oh, we just got a girl over here and a woman over here and a woman over here. No, it was done in a righteous manner. What do you see? You can build families that are beyond strong. To double back on what Pastor spoke about, I consider even this land here and the amount of sons and daughters that have been born, and you can see the strength that will end up coming from it. This is what this society doesn't want. Consider what you see going on out here in this earth. And I know we'll get to this more, but consider it. Look at what everybody is talking about right now. They're either talking about war and all these things, but the most American is out here talking about what? They're talking about the prices of everything. How single families can't afford everything on a single budget. They can't afford a single salary. They can't afford everything on two salaries now. They can't afford nothing. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's this, gas prices and that, and the third. I saw $6.47 the other day for diesel, a gallon. Okay. So everybody is talking about gas prices and what's taking place. But consider this, as I spoke to in the video, because that video apparently sparked a firestorm in a lot of people, because it was people commenting all type of crazy stuff on there. Like, what if you only want one woman? Then have one woman. Nobody's disputing that. Have one woman. Nobody said that you couldn't. But what do you see? If you were to be able to come together and say a man is taking care of himself, has a piece of land, he has a woman, then that could have an online business. You have another woman who could turn around and school the sons and daughters. You have another woman who deals with cooking, and they all come together when it comes to cleaning the house and all these things. Do you know how many sons and daughters could come out of that? You want to tell me about, oh my goodness, we wouldn't be able to afford it? No, it would be a lot cheaper. But what do we know? This society wants to keep you separate. This society wants to keep you apart. Why? It goes back to what Pastor just said. And y'all have heard me say this before, but I'm going to, because we were speaking about it the other day as brothers here in the community in the text chat. But I want to bring this out before I turn the mic back over to Michael Israel. But look at this. Pastor said it's ultimately because they have despised the law of Yah. And it's just the truth. Because the law of Yah tells you about marriage. It tells you what to do. It tells you what not to do. Okay? The word tells us that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you from being priest for me. Because you have forgotten the law of Yahweh, the law of Elohim, I will also forget your children. Word to point out in there, knowledge. When you look in the ancient Hebrew lexicon, okay, look at one of the definitions for knowledge. It says to have an intimate relationship with another person or idea or experience. Now consider that. That's one of the definitions for knowledge. See? But he said you rejected it. So it means what? You've rejected this relationship, this intimate relationship with another person. You see? Now go to what? Isaiah 53. Read verse 11.
He shall see of the travail of his soul and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their lawlessness.
Okay, so look at this here. We know that Isaiah 53 is the most detailed prophecy about our Messiah, Jesus Messiah. Okay? What did he say? He said that he will see the travail of his soul and shall be satisfied. And by his what? Knowledge. This intimate relationship, this understanding, this knowledge. What is he going to do? Justify many. But the reason why you see the many that is not justified in society today is because they despise knowledge. They have rejected the law. So when it comes to biblical marriage, that is what you should see. Go to 1 Peter 3, read from verse 7. If you can see 1 Peter 3, the first 6 verses is detailed to the woman. Now let's read verse 7. Look what it says.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
Okay.
Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
Okay. So what does he say? You're going to be heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers not be hindered. But you're supposed to do what? Give honor unto the wife as to the weaker vessel. So right there, it shows you that it's not equality. Yes. One's stronger, one's weaker. You see, roles. Go right back to what? Biblical marriage. But what does he say? Dwell with them, so live with them according to knowledge. According to what? This intimate relationship that you have with another person and an idea or an experience. You see this? It's the exact same thing. So the man's supposed to deal with her according to knowledge, the same as our Messiah deals with the man according to knowledge. All of it is about headship, and it is all about roles. Every single bit of biblical marriage. And because those things are despised amongst the heathen, and those things are despised amongst them that say they are Israel as well. This is why you can see homes are not well. You can see why people kick and fight against biblical marriage so much, because they don't question to see in themselves, why is this such a fight? I see people who would say, yeah, they can admit that it's right and they know it's, but it's, you know what, it's just not for this time. Says who? Since when does Yah and all of his wisdom make anything or create anything that's only for a certain time and it's not for any other time, when we know that he's the same yesterday to today and forever? And he does not change. You see? But I'm pretty sure we'll get more into all of this throughout the rest of this broadcast. But these things are extremely important. Biblical marriage is the foundation of it all. Okay? Michael Israel.
Yeah, that's just some good wisdom coming out from the pastors. And, you know, I like what Pastor Amir was saying about the roles. You know, the man has a role he fits in as a head in the house that he serves. And then the woman has a role she fits into in the house. And, you know, me and Sister Corey, we were talking about this today about, you know, I was just talking about how the woman in the house, just from a health standpoint, that woman's able to feed this family, and depending on what she feeds them, that's how the health of that home's gonna go. When you take a woman out of that position, now you're going out to McDonald's and all these other places out here and eating this slop they serve you that's really poison. I mean, it's just like Pastor Dow said in the beginning, with the importance of this biblical marriage and this structure. I mean, you could go in any direction with it and just see how critical it is. But with that, we're going to shift the focus to the other end of the spectrum, and that's going to bring this question into light. And what we're talking about here is I want the pastors to speak about the devil, and a lot of people really don't know what's going on out there. I mean, even I was shocked. I heard Pastor Mir, he was talking about some dude out there in the world. I don't know who it was. Some man in Atlanta or something went and got a STD panel where they tested him for all the different STDs that are out there, and he popped positive for everything. I mean, it is, people don't understand how bad it is out there in a multitude of ways. So that brings us into this question. Can you speak, pastors, can y'all speak on the devastating condition of the world today regarding the systematic war on marriage, relationships, family, and the destructive nature of this hookup culture we have, and how the cycle of divorce and disease and mental illness from divorce and diseases is just wreaking havoc and destroying people's lives and their spirits and all that stuff. So I just want the pastors to speak on that if they could.
Pagans, which have no scruples whatsoever at all about themselves, and I'm telling you, they don't. They openly lust and they openly practice prostitution while legally practicing monogamy. Now, I said that to say this. Yahweh Elohim has already laid out in the law, in the Torah, the blessings and the curses and what would happen to you if you go out and desire to live like the pagan cultures and nations around you. And making no mistakes about it, that's what's going on. Everybody's slinging sex all over the place, just raw dogging and every dang thing else. And as a result, they're eating the fruit of their own way. I'm going to read a couple of scriptures over in Leviticus. And I'm going to use the Amplified version. Chapter 18, And I'm going to skip around and read some scriptures right here, and I'm going to let the book do the answering for itself, all right? So in Leviticus 18:3, it says, "Ye shall not do what is done in the land of Mizraim or the land of Egypt, where you lived. And you shall not do what is done in the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you. You shall not follow their statutes, their practices, or their customs." And I submit to you that since Yahweh has been kicked out of the Christian churches, he's been kicked out of the homes, he's been kicked out of this nation because nobody don't want nothing to do about it. We're eating the curses and eating the fruit of our own way as a promiscuous society. And the fruit of that way is sexual immorality, loaded up with all kind of STDs and diseases. And remember what the book says. And if you don't do what I tell you to do, then I'm going to lay all these diseases upon you. Not only these, but I'm going to put stuff on you that's not even written in this book. That's where we at right now. If you ask me, I think we're worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. I.e., which the remedy to all that is a good old sound biblical family. The remedy to all that. Anyway, then it goes on to say, and you don't even practice customs. You are to follow my judgments, precepts, and ordinances, keep my statutes, and live by them, for I am Yahweh your Elohim. So you shall keep my statutes and my judgments, by which if a person keeps them, look at this, he shall live, I am Yahweh. Leviticus 18:22. You shall not lie intimately with a male as one lies with a female. It is repulsive. Another place it gives you the flat out death penalty. So these are laws that was universally already laid down, not only for Israel. Israel was charged to teach the nations these laws. And the law, I don't care if you are pagan or not, there's still a universal law. You can't go contrary to this and expect to be blessed as a nation. God bless America, they say. Goddamn America is what's really going on right now. And Americans are damning themselves because, again, they have spurned the righteousness of the law. They're taught in these institutions of ill repute called Christianity to not even obey the law. It's done away with. What kind of mindset or what type of offspring or what type of society do you think in any way, shape, fashion, or form that's going to produce for people? That's what it's going to produce whenever you reject the law of Yahweh Elohim. He's going to reject us. He has rejected us. America is rejected by Yah as a nation. Yah, just like in Sodom and Gomorrah, he is only interested in the righteous that are there. And then when he delivers us, you better not look back. You better not yearn for the ways of these evil people that's in this land right here. And you know what? Look how many people have put them hand to this plow. You know what's a plow? Because it's straight and narrow. Now they went back. I've seen people out there, look at this, make songs, fleeing a sinking ship. Well, it looks like they singing songs about themselves, thinking they're pointing towards us. Their ship is sunk. The people who at one time they were set apart, like living in Goshen, now they look like the heathens in this world. And you gonna tell me they blessed? No, they're a bunch of heathens. The majority of the people that are enemies out there against us today, they are not even serving Yah. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all why I ain't fool with them. Ephraim is joined to his idols. Let them alone. So you don't lie cardinally. Man with a man, like a man would lie with a woman. Leviticus 18:24. Do not defile yourselves by any of these things. For by all these, the nations which I am casting out before you have defiled themselves. It's not America, a big, gigantic red light district and a house of ill repute. Yes or no? Yes, it is. It's not America defiled by these. I mean, think about it. It's automatically assumed if you ask a girl out on a date, you know you're going to do the nasty before the day is over. Look how cheap she sells herself. A hotel room, a Big Mac, and a movie. And then after that, she done gave them draws up. And that's normal. let me say this, a lot of mental illness. There are a lot of people in this country that is going undiagnosed today, mentally ill because there's too much DNA inside of them and they think that they function and think normal. They believe that shit. You got all types of different personalities all up in you and everything, and then you're going to turn around and be the first line teacher to some people like that? No, you better get saved. You better get filled with the Holy Spirit and repent and turn from your wicked ways and get on the right path. I'm going to end on Leviticus 18:26 through 28. But as for you, you ought to keep my statutes and my judgment, my precepts, and you shall not commit any of these repulsive acts. Neither the native born nor the stranger who lives temporarily among you. For all these repulsive acts have been done by men who have lived in the land before you, and the land has become defiled. Do none of these things, so that the land will not vomit you out. Should you defile it, as it has vomited out the nations which has been before you. And what's happening? We got all these sickness and diseases. And you know what's here it is, what's going on in the world today in America. I heard that you can go out there and some people can contract AIDS and it ain't no big deal. You can go get a shot and it'll cover it up and it'll put it in dormant. Now, this is what I heard. I don't know that to be true. Maybe y'all can tell me. I don't know. But now, guess what Satan has done? Satan done come up with a way to give you a vaccine for you to go out and become more promiscuous until you get to the point that none of these shots will work anymore. And it's all because you have rejected the law of Yahweh, thy Elohim. Look. Satan does not want us to raise strong sons and daughters of Israel. Satan cannot wait to get a hold of these sons and daughters, put them in their institutions, i.e. college. Anybody ever been on a college campus before? Y'all don't know what goes on in college. Anybody ever been to a frat party before? Anybody ever been in a fraternity or a sorority or a secret society? And these are supposed to be the leaders of the next generation? Pastor Mary, before I get cranked, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it from here, man. Please take it from here.
Shep, I'm over here just because you talk about these college campuses. I was having a conversation with Brother Adam today about this very thing, about this exact thing. So here's what I'm going to do. You know, because we live in a world that's so full of darkness, they hate the light. Okay? But again, as I often say, I'm hoping that maybe one can hear. Literally. Isaiah 49, verse 6. And he said, is it a light thing that thou should be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel? I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the ends of the earth. So why am I quoting that? Why I'm quoting it again is because it's not a light thing that he rose up these tribes. He rose up Israel and the preserved of Israel. And we are supposed to be a light, but we know that men hate light. They love darkness rather than light. But that still doesn't negate us from doing our job. You see, we're talking about biblical marriage. Guess what? You being a light is extremely important because guess what? When we talk about biblical marriage and we talk about a man and his woman, or we talk, what do you see in this earth? We talk about our women being modest, being covered, being meek, being quiet, which we know having a spirit like that in the sight of the eye is of a great price. But what does the world teach? They teach the total opposite. Show your wife off. Make everybody else see every single curve on her body. Trophy wives, power couples, and all of this crap. You talk about power couples. You want to see a power couple? See a man that got 3 or 4 wives. And his stuff is intact. Then you're going to see some power and some strength. You see? But when you talk about that, it's the exact opposite, right? So now when you get to polygyny, it's the same thing, right? It's the same exact concept, same morals. But what does this world teach? When they say, oh, poly life, polygamy, how they say it, right? What do you see? A man laid up in the bed with 2-3 women, half dressed, he kissing all over all of them, and they all in the pool and on vacations, and that's what they show, because our mind is so hyper sexualized in this country that your woman ain't enough. It's just nuts. You see? I'm going to talk about this because Pastor went straight to the law. So I'm going to use the apostle to support the very same thing. You consider this. Why do people fight against it? Right? They fight against it and they try to come up with every reason. Oh, it's drama. Oh, it's nasty, because they mind first go to sex. You see? But then they'll allow whoredoms. They allow, like it ain't drama in their own houses and in their own thing. I told y'all before, they're making movies. They done made billions of dollars off of drama with one man and one woman. Movies, books, TV shows, internet, everything. See? Shep spoke about the homosexuality that is taking over in this country, that produces nothing. It literally produces nothing but death. That's it. That's literally what it produces. Right now, I just read the other day that these Israelis, they have they said they found the site of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Hear what I'm getting ready to say. So what are they doing? They got it planned, I want to say in this summer, where they're going to have the biggest LGBTQ, PS, HIV, whatever, all these other joints, the biggest parade, festival, celebration ever in the middle of the desert somewhere, where they said is the exact place in the ruin of Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what they doing. These are the ones that the world, that they got the world fooled, saying that these are God's chosen people. These are the ones who the Christian church is still sending billions of dollars to, saying because they're God's chosen people. That's what they're doing. This is the world we live in. Y'all better, I'm telling y'all, Israel, this is why it's so important that our homes, our sons and daughters, our marriages are right, whether you have one woman or 10. We need to make sure that what we are doing is right, because again, according to what I just read again, we are charged to be a light amongst a whole lot of darkness. You mean to tell me these folk going out in the middle of the desert to celebrate sodomy and to celebrate what Yah calls an abomination, and as Shep just read, that you should receive the death penalty for, according to Yah's law, because it's unnatural? Go to Romans 1. Read verse 18. Look at this.
For the wrath of Yah is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness.
Okay, so this is the wrath of Yah that's going to be revealed from heaven, from his throne, against what? Ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. So you think a man doesn't know it's wrong for him to be with another man, or a woman doesn't know it's wrong for her to be with another woman? Yeah, they know it's wrong. That's why they go so hard against it to make you believe and prove it's right. You think that they don't know it's wrong for somebody out here to say, today I'm going to be a man, tomorrow I'm going to be a leprechaun, and next day I'm going to be a unicorn? You think that they don't know the difference between that? They know the difference. But this is why they fight so hard to prove to you. You ever seen a flamboyant homosexual man? Isn't it amazing how hard they go to try to prove to you that they a woman? You see? Read verse 26 through 28. Watch this.
For this cause Yah gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use and to that which is against nature.
To that which is what?
Against nature.
And because of this, Yah gave them up to their vile affections. Keep reading.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another. Men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which is meat.
Okay, so he said men with men, women with women, which is this culture today. Whoredoms all over the place. Wickedness all over the place. He said they received within themselves. They received in themselves the recompense of their error was meat. That's what Pastor was talking about. You got sexually transmitted diseases all over here that they can't even explain. I told you about the one that people losing all function of their bladder. Literally losing the function of their bladder called ureaplasma. Okay? This man down there in Houston tested positive for every single STD on the panel. His face loaded with just bumps and stuff all over his face. I said, look at this, man. What? They received in themselves, literally within their body. The word Paul told you about this sexual sin. What did he say? He said that sin's against your body. That's sin against you. Look what he turned around and said. They received in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. You see? Everything is against the family. They had the video shot. If y'all remember what I'm talking about when I say video shot, the co-video shot that they had out here. What was it to the destruction of? It was to the destruction of bearing seed. They want people sick. They want people dying with blood clots, and they don't want people to bear seed. Now let's get to college culture. You know, this hookup culture mess. We was talking about this today. There ain't no way, in any way, shape, fashion, or form, that I would ever send my sons or daughters to anybody's college. Why? Because what do they learn? They literally go and they get indoctrinated to tell you to forget every single thing that you have learned in your home as a young man and a young woman. And they send them into these places, okay, into these institutions. And what do they learn there? A bunch of whoredoms, homosexuality all over the place, do as thou wilt. You see, this is the culture. They teach them drugs. They teach them getting addicted to alcohol, all type of promiscuity. This is what people learn. You know, I mean, this stuff. I was telling my brother today, I said, look, let me tell you something. I grew up in PG County, Maryland. Okay. I knew what people was doing in PG County, Maryland, where I grew up at, including myself. You see? The most you saw was people out here, and you go get a girl number and they talking to people and they and you get her number and you have time on the phone and you go to a movie or something and you actually put in work. It's to some capacity, all to end up going to wind up in somebody's room. Okay. I went to college. I said this is insane. You take a black male out of PG County, Maryland, and I went to Kent, Ohio, to the second biggest school in Ohio where it is predominantly white. I didn't know these Europeans got down like that. These folk ain't even talk. They just look. And as soon as they look, they're like, hey, that's one. And next thing you know, the door is just revolving. They just all over the place, slinging it from wall to wall, door to door, just all over the place. I said, this is insane. You see? And what do you see spread? You go on campus, what do you see? They have health trucks, health this, come get tested here, come get that. Why? Because it's spread all over the place. And they say this way we should send our sons and daughters. We would be fools to send our sons and daughters to these institutions so they can go out here. But what's pumped? Go to school and then go to college. Wind up in a bunch of debt and wind up just messed up in your head for the rest of your life. Why? Because again, you do not want to do what the law of Yah say. Watch this. Read verse 28 in Romans 1. Watch this.
And even as they did not like to retain Yah in their knowledge, Yah gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient.
They didn't want to retain Yahweh
In their knowledge.
In their knowledge. Again, I told you what the ancient Hebrew lexicon said about knowledge. It is an intimate relationship. Because you didn't want an intimate relationship with Yah, he gave you over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are what? Not convenient. I'm telling y'all come on these broadcasts every single week. Y'all come to these Shabbat services. Y'all come and y'all watching, preaching, and teaching. Pastor told you about the miracles that's still being done. Notable miracles still being done. Y'all still healing his people. You see? Y'all would not be wise. It would behoove you to understand that what you see is light. And that is why the word is true, because he said men love darkness. They hate the light. Why? It's because they wicked. Their deeds will be exposed. So it's usually the ones that everybody is pointing the finger at. It's usually the ones that everybody is saying that they this and they that and they this and they that and they this and they that and can't prove nothing. And that y'all is still prospering. Y'all is still blessing. Y'all is still working through. It's usually them that you should probably look into even more so and actually look at fruit and learn how to judge it so you don't fall by the wiles and the foolishness that you see out here in this society. Because I'm telling you right now, we're living in a world today where you are going to make, I want y'all to hear me. Y'all, you are going to make, because of how wicked this earth is, you are going to not only make a decision whether you're going to serve Yah or you're going to serve Satan. You are going to make a decision, and you're going to make a conscious decision. Yah is drawing the line in the sand, man. Period, point blank. You are going to make a decision whether you're going to serve Yah or whether you're going to serve Satan. And you're going to know what you're doing when you do it. There will be no excuse. Come out of her, my people. Come out from among them and be ye separate, saith Yahweh.
Dang, I'll tell you what, man. Shoot. Next question, man. Let's start off with Pastor Mir. Let me sit back and listen. I mean, dang. Boy, man, we need this righteousness, man. We truly do. Come on, Michael Israel. God.
Yeah, Pastor, that thing you were talking about, you called it PrEP or whatever. It says it's a highly effective daily pill or periodic injection by HIV negative people to prevent contracting HIV. So, yeah, yeah. So,
whoa. You mean just let them reverse the shit? So you are actually taking it. So if you go lay with someone that has AIDS, you won't get it?
Yeah. And
hell no. I'm staying out here in the damn country, man.
Yeah.
That's what the heck? Anyway.
And you know, they were, I saw something. They had a spring.
You hear that? Go ahead, Israel.
So yeah, they had a spring break. They were saying out there in Houston, which they already have out there in the Houston area, a high HIV level out there or whatever. But they were saying, man, it like people who went to that spring break were coming back with all types of HIV and all types of stuff out there. So, and that's why people take stuff like that. But it's like it's like you said, they taking that to avoid contracting HIV, and now but then they contracting all types of other stuff because they doing more stuff they don't need to be doing. So yeah,
just like what the Torah says, and I'll put these diseases up on you. They ain't even listed in the book.
Right. Yep. Man. All right. So so that's Pastor Mir at the end of what he was saying. He kind of went into some of the stuff this next question is going to be about, and that's what kind of drove this whole thing. Because I just keep it a buck, man. I did a video. In fact, I did a video. Probably it was the last video I did because I've been busy. But I did a video calling, a lot of people out on this thing, and what I'm talking about. I see a lot of people being, they talk about this ministry. They used to be a part of this ministry, so they say they got a lot to say about the ministry. And in that video, I said, cool, if you upset about it, talk about it, no problem there. But it's like, but that's all they do. You don't see anything biblical of any substance come out except pass it out is straight way that da, da, da. And I put a challenge out. I said, hey, watch that stuff they're making for a month straight and see where you're at spiritually. And then go on Pastor Dow's channel and watch everything he puts on there for a month straight, nothing else. See where your mindset's at. It's not gonna get you anywhere. But that brings us into this question, and that question is, why do some people spend all their time microanalyzing and arguing over minor details of biblical marriage, or how we might it might be done here at Straightway, but yet they're completely silent about the elephant in the room, the fact that modern society is literally falling apart through, you already heard some of the stuff that Pastor Dow and Pastor Amir have been saying. You see this society, I mean, it's like, why aren't we trying to do what the book say and be a light unto these people out here? Instead, we're putting our whole focus on trying to tear something down or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's the question. And in fact, that video I made a couple weeks ago, I was somebody accused me of Pastor Dow made him do it and made him post it on the channel. It couldn't be further from the truth. The Most High put it on my heart to do that video, and I called Pastor Dow after I made it and said, "Hey, let me put this on your channel." Am I right, Pastor?
That's the truth.
You can't make this stuff up. But anyway, pastors, that's the question. I want to hear y'all's answer on that.
Pastor Amir, go ahead, man. Take all the time you need, man. I'm listening to you.
Man, Shep, I'm going to tell y'all this. Think about it. I remember I grew up in a house. My mother is extremely ordered and tidy. Okay. She wants stuff clean. I mean, to the zenith clean. But the house I grew up in, even though it was very, very clean, you turn them lights off at night and cut that light on quick, you're going to see roaches scatter. Okay. Although the light got rid of what you didn't want, it was still there. They turned on the light and you saw what you didn't want. Roaches. So what do you see happen? When light comes around, wickedness scatters, but it ain't happy while it's scattering. Do you think the roaches was happy when they was out there looking for crumbs, hoping they could find a breadcrumb somewhere? But that light come on, they knew they had to run for their life. You think it's any different when you see what is taking place? Think about this. People micromanage every single thing when it comes to biblical marriage. Okay, well, we say polygyny, a man having more than one woman, as if it's wrong or something, when clearly it's not when you read the word. But here's the problem. When we come around and we get to speak about this, light gets shown. Because they'll say, oh, when you read in the word, it was all drama in those relationships. Okay, time out. First of all, that's not true. Because you can read of examples in the word where it wasn't drama. Or you can read examples in the word where it just spoke about a man having more than one woman. And then that's all it said. But automatically, because you put your mindset into the word, you automatically assume that there was drama there. And you know what gets me? when you come around and you make a statement like this, wait a minute. You the same one talking about X, Y, and Z. Didn't you just get divorced? You the same one talking about X, Y, and Z. Didn't you got turmoil in your marriage? You the same one talking about X, Y, and Z. You a pastor in the church. They got 78% divorce rate in monogamy. But you want to micromanage a man having more than one, saying it was always drama in the book, which again, it's not true whatsoever at all. Okay. They want to micromanage and say, disease. I think we done covered disease well enough today. When you can see what is taking place out here. Okay. So what do you say to the examples where that's not the case? What do you say to the examples where say there is disease, but Yah heals them through having it? What do you say to these examples? What do you say when you read the word and you read Leah make this statement that Yah opened up my womb that I could bear another son to my husband because I gave my maidservant to her to be his wife? What do you say when you read statements like that? This woman understood something. You know what? Yah will do for me once I do for her. I'm going to make sure that she has a righteous cover. I'm going to make sure that she has what she needs. The two greatest commandments, love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, mind, and your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. She said, you know what? I got a good master. Let me make sure that my sister, my maidservant, is a wife of my master because he's good. Yah opened up her womb because of it. And then she told you, why is this stuff never preached? Let's just be honest. This culture teaches women to be wicked and selfish. And it teaches men to be cowards and effeminate. That's what this culture teaches. Because when you look at this thing, watch this. Say you have a man out here. Say he's married to his woman. What happens if he sees a woman who is down and out and needs help and says, you know what? I'm going to move this woman into my home. And you move her into the home and you feed her. You make sure she has clothing and apparel. Everything she has is right. You protect her. Do you know that if you do this in the Christian homes and all that, most people, and even wives, wouldn't have no issue with it. They wouldn't have no issue with it. But let it come to the point, because of where the mind goes in this society, let it come to the point where, she get to squirming in her bed at night because she desires a man. The same way that your wife will push up and squirm next to you because she desires her husband. Now, all of a sudden, it's a problem if that woman is still in the house. You see what I'm talking about? Because guess what? You don't want for her the same that you desire for you. Because you have it in your mindset in this wicked culture that you chose the man. You have it in your mindset in this wicked culture that you're equal and you not. Can you imagine me sitting up there full of the Holy Spirit of Yah, crying because of the intimate times, remembering the first time that he put his seed in me? Can you imagine me getting quickened by the Most High Yah? You crying out to him, or you praying, or you just thinking about how good he is, how good his word is. And all of a sudden, when you drive down the street and he give you that quickening. You see? And then all of a sudden, I see another come and they speak about the experience, the same experience that being filled with the Holy Spirit. And can you imagine me turning around and walking around and getting mad at Yah and saying, he's just for me. Only that intimacy is for me. Last time I checked, 1 Corinthians 11 told us the order to this thing. You got Jesus, you got man, you got woman. Period, point blank. Can you imagine? It's not fair, Yah. You're intimate with this one, but not me. It's not fair. Can you imagine? But this is the mindset that goes forth. And let's just be honest. It's a wicked mindset But them that's in the faith still doing this mess is because they wicked and they religious as hell. Because it ain't nothing different. Because it's the same thing you read in the book that Israel was doing before. Tell me when you read through the book of Acts, you can see Paul go and be amongst the Gentiles. And what is he doing? He's going and he's raving and he's talking about how good Yah is because he filled the Gentiles with the Holy Spirit. They received it the same way we received it. Now all of a sudden, what do? You get old wicked Israel, religious in its nature, that comes along and tells you, no, they ain't supposed to have it because it's for us. They ain't supposed to get it because it's for us. It's the same religious, wicked, demonic spirit. Because at the end of the day, let's just be honest, you think you equal with Yah. Because you are going to sit there and tell Yah who he can pick and choose. Nah, I ain't doing that. Yeah, you are. And it's the same thing that you're doing in a house. Because when you see a woman that wants to do that mess and tell a man who he can pick and choose or be in her feelings and walking around with a terrible attitude and a tore down countenance and despising what Yah put in his word, at the end of the day, you despise your husband being a light. You rather your husband be walking in darkness. You don't want your husband to be salvation to another. Now let's just talk about what the book say. This is the word of Yah. You don't want your husband to be salvation. Because last time I checked, go ask a woman out here that got to go to work every day. Go ask a woman out here that ain't got nothing, but she got to defend herself. She gotta go to work, and then she leave work, and she got to go in the garage where she half dead to death, scared every time she got to get to her car, and then she got to drive home, and then she got to be at her house, and she sleep with a baseball bat next to her bed because she has to think about protecting herself, and she has to live out here as a job and have income to make sure she's taking care of things and do all of this. But then a man comes along who got one wife or got two wives or three wives or how many he can afford. And then all of a sudden, now he takes that one and saves her. Yeah. And what does he save her from? He saves her from herself. He saves her from the situation she's in. And what ends up happening? She lives, what does it promote? A longer life, healthier life. She's not worried and stressed. There's no bunch of damn envy and jealousy and wickedness going on all over the place because she has a righteous man that can teach her not to be those ways. And then what ends up happening? What does it promote? A longer, more healthy, stronger life in Yah. No, let me tell y'all something. You can't stop what Yah is doing. The prophecy says what it says. And in that day, 7 women going to take hold of one man. Go to it, Isaiah 4. You can't stop it. Going to take hold of one man and say, we will eat our own bread. We're on our own apparel. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. That is what you're seeing and it's taking place out here today. I told y'all in the video, these weren't broke, tore down women that were saying they don't have a man. These are women in the Christian church, dominated in the Christian church, who have great jobs, who have great careers, who can buy their own bread, who can wear their own apparel, but they don't have a man's last name to take away their disgrace. And verse 2 is the ticket. In that day shall the branch of Yah be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely from them that are escaped of Israel. Now you want to sit here and tell me that our sons and daughters ain't beautiful? That our sons and daughters ain't excellent fruit? That they're not comely? That the branch of Yah, that the Yah doesn't look out and see us living the way that we live according to his word and not bless it? A tall tale sign of a thriving place, a thriving community, a thriving nation is childbirth, not the destruction of it.
Uh-oh.
Look at what's going on in this country.
Uh-oh.
Birth rates declining. And then you see people, and then what they have a whole system for you to go do what? Sacrifice your children on the Molech. Go kill them anyway. That's what we see in this country. It's more women than it is men. Pastor done ran the numbers down to y'all, I don't know how many times. It's coming to that point. And at the end of the day, Yah has raised up and will continue to raise up righteous men and put them in a position to where they can do those very things. Be a savior for his daughters on this earth while he's connected to the Savior, Jesus our Messiah. Hallelujah.
You know, I'm so glad to let Pastor Muir go ahead and go first, because I'm going to hit this from a standpoint, a perspective, and a viewpoint of exactly how I actually live. But to show men what they need to be today. It is a cancer in any society when a man is concerned about what a woman thinks. I say it is a cancer of any society when a man is concerned about what his woman thinks. You're not here to serve her. You're here to serve Yah. You're here to be about your purpose. And she is here to help you in your purpose. We got this whole thing wrong as a society in this world because of what we've been influenced by over the years. I can tell you right now, I did not ask any of my Ishas if I could get married or if I could take on another Ish. I didn't ask, no. I just simply said, here he is. That's it, period. You don't like it? Hit the door. The book says when a man finds a wife, it didn't say anything about if your wife approves of this one. Let me start off by trying to talk to us about what love is. Put Pastor Muir down so I can see him too, man. Let me talk to y'all about what love is, because we all confused in this damn world nowadays. So here come the old man getting ready to talk, okay? We think that love has to do with some type of romance that you see on these Romeo and Juliet sitcoms and all this other stuff, like Pastor Muir mentioned earlier. People out there, the man out there crooning to the woman in song and dance and stuff, being a simp and carry on. Let me just simply I'm just going to basically tell us all exactly what love is. Y'all know what love is? Y'all know what love is? Love is an attraction. Period. It's an attraction. The problem is the attraction has been redefined in this pagan culture. See, a woman can only be attracted to one man and be loyal to that one man, and that's all that she wants to be attracted to. Anytime that man loses attraction from her, then she's no longer interested. Still, even at that, she's still bound by the law. Point blank, period, point blank. When a man sees a woman, the first thing he sees, he don't see what you call love through romance. He sees attraction. Period, point blank. That's what he sees. And if you young men are listening to me, because I didn't have nobody teaching me when I was younger. When I teach you young men, unlike these wicked ass people who had these little groups called young bloods and then teach them a goddamn thing. When I'm sitting up here teaching you something, I'm going to teach you men what to look for in a woman so you don't make the mistakes that have already been made before. That's what they call OGs. That's what they are there for. To help you to see it far off so you don't make the same mistakes of the past. I was talking to my Ishas the other day. I said this. Y'all have a biological clock. You can only produce for so long. Every single month, unless a man put life in you, your man put life in you, you experience death. Every month. you are experiencing death. If that egg is not impregnated by that seed, if it's not incubated by that seed, that egg goes out of the body through the menstrual cycle. Every single time that a man ejaculates, he has hundreds of millions of life is all competing to get to that one egg. A woman's clock will stop sometime in her 40s, mid-40s, definitely by 50s. Every once in a while, you may have one or two that may slip by, but very, very few and rare. I'm proof positive to let you know I'm a man knocking on 60. I'm on the door of 60 right now. And I can produce seed from now until the day I die. As long as I can perform. So you watch this. I guess I could go on a crash course and build a nation by having 50 Ishas in one calendar year. I guarantee we can build a nation then. What am I saying? A man can impregnate 30-something women or 60-something women every single month. I'm giving you the raw numbers that y'all is giving a man the power to create through the seed that comes out of his body. A woman can't do that. A woman only has one egg that releases once a month, and that's it. And when her biological clock is over, it is over. It's done for. So I don't understand all this catering shit over here too. If it's okay, or if they are huffing and puffing and using all these damn emotions and feelings and all this other. I don't understand this Gentile witchcraft mentality. Because that's all it is. You don't like the culture, get the hell out. It's just that simple. Because we damn sure ain't going back to this pagan satanic culture or this promiscuity where everybody out there is just raw dogging every damn thing. And what you say, that guy, he came up with every sexual transmitted diseases that was known to man because he was in Houston, no telling what they were doing. Yah created man for many, and he created woman for one. The cancer of this society is the lack of recognizing and honoring truth, because our minds have been shaped and fashioned in such a form that we think more like Gentiles than we do Israelites. I know women seem to think that we don't comprehend and understand. That's what they seem to think, but they missing it. Remember, you came from us. So I definitely know how you comprehend and think. It's just that we think more righteously, because I'm not looking at Pastor Muriel, Michael Israel with an envious eye. I'm trying to do everything I can to tell them about my master. I'm trying to do every damn thing I can to make sure they get in here and experience this joy and this real true love. Man, why? Because it comes from a pure heart. It doesn't come from something fleshly. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to probably talk about the ups, the positives, the negatives, everything, what they call polygyny and stuff. And you're going to find out the majority of the negatives concerning polygyny. I'm not saying that man is perfect down here, because we got some jacklegs among us. But I'm saying for the majority part of what my experience has been, the negativity comes from the woman. Talk. Straight up it does. And the reason why it's come from them, because they're not connected to Yah like they think that they are. Women didn't fight. And when you read the scripture, you read the book, they didn't fight if that woman was in the house or not in the house. They fight over stupid stuff. Like who get the inheritance? Who's on first? Who's on second? I am on third, and all this whole other stuff. They didn't fight whether the man had an additional ish or not. That wasn't even the issue, but that's an issue today. Now, this the same woman that's done before marriage. She done been out there, probably presented herself as a virgin, and before she got married, done had 4 or 5 men up in her ass. And then come to the marriage with a damn white gown on like you some type of chaste-ass virgin. This the same woman that's done been turned more times than a doorknob. Upwards today, if a woman up been to college and now she's seeking to slow on to get married, she probably done had 30, 40, or 50 consorts. Now all of a sudden she want to settle down. After she done give her best years to whoremongers. Now all of a sudden you want this righteous Israelite guy that's on a level far above Samson and David. While you played the whore all these damn years, you schizophrenic as hell. Yeah, somebody got to say it. You schizophrenic as hell. You be fortunate today to meet a woman that has not had more consorts than you have. It's sad. And it's because of rejection that they end up letting all these men come and put their DNA all up in their ass and shit because of rejection. Don't even know what true love is. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it at all. I've been living too long to not know what the hell's going on in this world and the truth of the matter, which I have the gumption to be able to tell you the flat out truth, whereas others going to try to sugarcoat it, make everybody feel better. Listen, over here, you don't get no participation trophies. We don't do that shit over here. You get the unadulterated, uncompromising truth, uncut, period. That's where you get it. Straight. That's how you get it. So you women don't sit up and tell me that you got all these things standards from men when you never lived a standard. You never been the standard. Your culture wasn't even the standard. Your mama wasn't even the standard. And y'all want to talk about Papa was a Rolling Stone. I had somebody the other day ask me a question. Well, Pastor Dow, I'm kind of upset about dad and stuff because he hurt my mom. I said, how do you hurt your mom? He said, well, my dad, he had like 4, 5, 6 other children out there, about 2 or 3 other women. I said, were the women married? No, but he had 4 or 5. And my mama is hurt. I said, you tell your mama she's full of shit. And you tell your daddy that the reason why he a jackleg because he should have took care of his damn responsibilities and manned up and grabbed his damn nutsack. That's what he should have damn done. Dang, Pastor. No, that's straight up real talk. That's the truth. The unadulterated, uncompromising truth. Your mama's full of witchcraft. She's a damn Jezebel. And your daddy is a weak-ass, spineless shell of a man. And you come from a dysfunctional home, and if you don't get that shit out of you and get some deliverance, you're going to repeat the same mistakes. Pastor Mir, I'm done, man.
No, that's real talk. That's real talk. I got a couple questions because this how the thing we don't realize about Yah is everything he's created, everything he's done, he creates it after himself. I keep trying to tell y'all he's the Elohim of expansion. Paul told you through his creation, he's clearly seen in the things that he has created. It's clear. Okay, so I got a question. Is there more women on this earth than there is men? By far. Okay. Can you imagine? Okay, I got a question. Before I make this, can you imagine you go plant some seed out here in the ground to grow you some fruit and the dirt next to it telling you don't plant over there because you usually plant seed in me, so don't plant it over there? Can you imagine that? Okay, so I got a question. Is there more dirt on this earth than it is seed? It's more dirt than it is seed, right? Okay. So what that tell you? It's the same exact thing. It's more women than it is man. Man carry the seed. And it's a lot more women. Well, you calling women dirt. Your bride ain't dirt. Y'all created his bride out of dirt. So now I get mad at that too. Last I checked, when I read the book, he picked up the dirt and formed the dirt. Then he blew life into it. You see what I'm talking about? It's right here. It's right here. So take away every excuse. And see, the thing is, when you see broadcasts like this, people that say, "Man, that's something else, man. Why they got to talk like this? Listen, man? This would you rather sound like you're preaching? Because they ain't gonna tell you the truth. Oh man, I love my church. Yeah, and guess what? You're in your church. You've been there 20, 30 years, and your pastor is still teaching the same thing, telling you to wait on your Boaz. Lines of women outside these churches talking about ain't no men. Because you've been sold a lie, telling you that you're going to have a house and a picket fence and a dog, and that's what it is. Man, y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up. The one thing that this earth does not want is for righteous men. This society, these people out here, they don't want righteous men to grab hold of this truth and start building righteous families. That's what they don't want. But guess what? As I said before, and I always say, you can't stop what y'all's doing. Hallelujah.
All right, man.
Hey, I didn't mean to get so dang raw, man, but I'm telling you, this shit pisses me off, man. I ain't got too much tolerance, man. I'm telling you, as I get older, I don't have too much tolerance for foolishness. I don't, man. The truth is the truth is the truth, and the truth is the only thing that's going to set you free. The problem is people hate the truth because they don't want to be conformed to the image of his dear son. That's the issue. That's the problem. Because it was Jesus, in case we forgot, that made all these laws. Since we love Jesus so much. Come on, Michael Israel.
Hey, and if you can, Pastor, just I want to get you to go a little further on what you were saying. Would you say another part of that why people don't want to call stuff the way it is because they like being in the comfort zone and they don't want to put no maybe ripples in the water per se? Would you say that's part of it?
No, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I understand the reason why a lot of people they kind of get upset at folks like I think when I saw a football game not too long ago, I thought I was seeing Robert Mathis. He had a C on his jersey, which means captain. All right, and so that means even in the professional levels of football, they had an organizational leadership structure. Even though you had coaches and stuff like they the officers, then you also had the enlisted, the people who was the captains over different sections, even in the professional football levels, NCOs, non-commissioned officers. All right. So in the military, Frogman, Ranger, myself, we could clearly tell you. I've told you, man, we've had leadership schools, literally, because when you become a non-commissioned officer, when you hit sergeant, staff sergeant, first class, every single grade takes you to another level of a leadership school. And you learn how to lead. You learn what it is. And the problem today is that rather than people centering their attention and focus on the accomplishment of the mission, their downfall is paying attention to some damn feelings and emotions that ain't gonna never get nothing done. We dealing in a world of society today that they overthink so damn much. I said they overthink so damn much that they're paralyzed and can't get a damn thing done. That's the type of world we live in today. And leadership is the process of influencing people. You have to learn what that mannerism is in order to be able to accomplish the mission. People don't even know this stuff about leadership. When you're a leader, you think that the CEO give a damn about what the janitor of a company thinks, or the section manager or the district manager of the company thinks. He lays down the prescribed order of things, and that's just the way it is. And if you don't meet those prerequisites and stuff, then guess what? We got to fire you and put somebody else better in there in order to get the mission and the task accomplished and get it done. We ain't got no time to be sitting up there playing around with your little sorry feelings and emotion, which you're rebellion. You are rebelling against in the first damn place. How can we accomplish any damn thing if you're not going to get with the vision of the company and the way it's going, or the ministry's way it's going, when you got your own ideas and your ideas ain't never worked for you all your damn life? It's asinine. So leaders cannot be afraid to lead, knowing that you've been in a position of where the people who have never led, but they've never been in your position. You're always going to be scrutinized. You're always going to be critiqued. Everybody think that they in a position, a place to judge you, and they ain't never been there. You'll be a fool to listen to them. When you got somebody greater that's over you, you answer to somebody greater. You ain't no damn Saulite the way you fear the people. And you're trying to accommodate the people. You're trying to get the mission and the task done. Did I answer your question? I get kind of passionate, man.
Pass, I'm going to tell you the other reason, too. Men love darkness. I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying it. You can't serve two masters. It's either you love one or hate the other. No man can serve Yah and Mammon. The other reason why, bro, Mike, why they won't say nothing is because it is. The biggest tithe payers and offering payers in their churches is the women. So they're not going to speak this right here. They're not going to, they're going to constantly lift up the woman and not the man because the women will leave. If you start telling a woman that she needs to submit to her man or submit to a man and submit to righteous leadership in this society and in this world, they ain't trying to hear that. And they'll say, I have no problem submitting, except it got to be this way. That ain't submission. Yeah, that ain't submission. And they know good and well, if they get to talking about biblical marriage, this right here, this leaving the church. So you know what? I'm going to cut off literally this entire book because I like this. Can't serve Yah and Mammon.
Let me give you an example. Y'all remember a few weeks ago that I actually read my portions of my DD 214 when I was in the military, some of the things I accomplished, right? And of course, I was top of the class leadership. And then when I was in Germany, my team, my combat signal team, one of the best in all of USARA, which is all of Germany. Do you know when I got there, man, the whole damn place was in a shambles. As a young buck sergeant, it was in a damn shambles. I go, we've been straightening this shit out. They has gotten so used of stuff being mediocre, mundane, low base. I came in, I said, oh no, we finna change this shit. We finna change it right now. They all said and look at me. I said, good, get the first thing I'm gonna do, get it clean this whole damn rack in this cage, this whole damn office up right now. Every bit of take everything out of the damn office right now. We starting from the beginning. You know what one of them said? We gonna tell Sergeant Sharp, there was platoon sergeant. I said, I don't give a fuck what you tell Sergeant Sharp, but know one thing, when you get back here, you gotta deal with my ass. That's what you're gonna deal with, I promise. And I promise you, when I get finished with you, you ain't gonna have no more ass to deal with. Because you know why? At the end of the day, guess who's going to be evaluated on job performance? I am. Not them. I am. Guess what I'm going to get evaluated on? Did I succeed or did I fail? Did I accomplish the task or the mission, or I was worried about their rebellion or their kicking or their feelings or their emotions? None of that. So when it came time for us that we had already put 6 months of drill after drill, study after study, in the rain, in the shop, in the heat, doing all this training, going backwards and forwards, combing these radios all over the left place. By the time we got finished, got to the competition, guess what? It was a joke. It was a walk in the park to them. The second place team was so far behind us, we could have dropped 2 people and still came in first. And guess what? Nobody was bitching when they got the medals. Nobody was bitching when they got weekend passes. Nobody was bitching when they were standing up in front of the company and the commander was pinning medals on them with their wives and everybody watching. Oh, they're all standing tall then. But ain't nobody telling you all the shit I had to go through in order to develop these men. With all their little adolescent asinine ass asses. They ain't tell you that though. Are y'all hearing me? The painstaking task that you got to go through in order to develop people while they go through their damn hormonal bitch stage, which I ain't putting up with. I didn't put up with it then, dealing with men. I be damn sure I ain't gonna put up with it now. Come on, Pastor.
Hey, man. Hey, Sirach 25:22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and reproach. You read it out the other version. It says that a woman, if she maintain, let me read. When a man is supported by his wife, there is sure to be anger, arrogance, and humiliation. Let me see what's going on, like we said, in these churches. How the women in them churches? Arrogant. Yeah. They loaded with anger. And what is it? It's disgraceful. That's why it says, and much reproach. Why? Because they support it. They the ones paying for all of it. That's why Proverbs 31:3 say what it say. You cannot give your strength to who? A woman. Because it'll go as high up, it'll destroy kings. It's as simple as that. Man, I hope somebody gets some understanding, man. For real.
Hey, check this out. So the other day I had a man, and I'm just gonna leave it at that, because if I go too detailed, everybody's gonna start trying to put two and two together, figure it out. And he had one of his issues with him. And he said, well, she don't really want to talk to me about it, Shep. She wants to talk to you because she says she trusts you. I said, no, she don't. I said, that's bullshit. She don't trust me. She's trusting to look for an answer that's going to suit her. That's what she's trusting, in case you don't know. Because if she can't trust you, she can't trust y'all. I want to hear that shit, man. And mind you, they both sitting right here, right? And I said, what's the problem, daughter? Well, the problem is that he's more tender and delicate and loving towards such and such so-and-so than he is me. I said, let me ask you a question. Are you his drama or his peace? Are you his chaos or his serenity? Which one of the bills are you fitting? Does he have to fight when he has to have a conversation with you, or is it a conversation that's done in what you call love? You said, looked at me, I said, both of y'all get the hell out of my face right now. Get out. I don't even want to hear from him no more. I want to hear, we ain't going down this road no more. I don't want to hear it no more. And mind you, I'm saying all of this in love, because I know what love is. There's something about traveling much and living a long ass time that gives you a lot of wisdom. And I'm not trying to keep everything that I know to myself. I'm trying to pass everything on. I'm trying to make sure there's nothing on the table. I'm trying to make sure that the next generation can get it and build on it even greater until the king comes. I want people that is listening to me that I am their teacher. You know, that's something you don't hear too much today. Pastor Dowell's my teacher. Well, damn, they used to say it in the renewed covenant. Nowadays, people, there's some type of taboo. You got to be taught by some damn body. Everybody just don't have a revelation coming from y'all like everybody think. No, some man has got to teach you. How can I understand unless some man guide me? Arrogant asses, man. Folks, something else, man. Anyway, Pastor Mir.
I'm over here stewing. Can you imagine? I trust you, pass it down. I'm going to talk to you. That's that Christian shit. That's that Christian shit they was doing in the Christian church. They go to the pastor before they go to the husband. See how out of order that message? No, they got the result they were supposed to get. Get out my face. It's as simple as that. You can't make this up, man. You cannot make this up. Boy, hey, man. Bro, my good Israel.
Well, that has brought me, that's all the questions It was definitely an awesome show. We went right in on and broke down marriage just like we planned from the beginning. Pastors, did y'all have anything else?
Man, Israel, just know that I love you enough to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You may not like the delivery. I'm not the type of mailman that's going to drive up in my little vehicle. I'm going to wave at you and say, how you doing today? Isn't the weather nice? No. I'm going to throw the damn mail at you. I'm going to get going on down the road because I got more packages to deliver. That's how I'm going to do it. Sorry. Hey, you don't like it? Then file a complaint. And we'll see how that works for you because they're going to ask you, did you get your package?
Yeah.
Yes. Was it delivered? Yes. Okay. Case done. It's over with. You follow me? But I do love y'all, and I'm not insensitive, but Israel cannot ever be controlled by feelings and emotions like a lot of these effeminate men of today. A lot of these effeminate men. Can you understand that I had men live right here in this community that had their personal problems and grievances, and they would never even live no more than 30 yards, 40 or 50 yards, or 100 yards from me. Couldn't even come and knock on my damn door and have an intelligent, grown man conversation with me. But they're comfortable talking with females. And you know what? You know when men go talk to females, you know what that is, right? They went and stirred up the women. Because those same females that they can stir up, they got the mouth, they got shell of the men. That the women are the actual patriarchs in their relationship, and then these beta males are going to try to go and control the alpha males, which that shit don't work over here. I understand full well we here because only a remnant going to be saved. I don't give a damn about what these people are thinking and stuff. I got a mission and a task. Y'all sent you to listen to me, not me to listen to you. I understand y'all's word and what needs to happen in his generation and go on. And until he sends somebody's got a greater revelation, sit down and shut up. Now, go talk to people who've been coached before and see how the coaches talk. I'm sure they massage you on your knees and your toes and everything and on the back of your shoulder. You can do it better next time. Go ahead, Chef. Finish it out, man.
But the Yehudi stirred up the devout and honorable women and the chief men of the city and raised persecution against Paul and Barnabas and expelled them out of their coast.
There we go. Get them out.
That's it right there. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go raise up the women that got some notoriety. That's what these men do. Instead of coming to have conversation, we're gonna go get the women that got some notoriety. We're gonna raise them up, and then we're gonna get these other chief men, and we're gonna expel the righteous out. We're gonna get rid of the righteous out of the city. That be the plan of it. It's right here. Everything we go through is right in the book. It's right here. You think that these people thought they was right? I guarantee you this: the Yehudi, the honorable women, and the chief men thought they was right. They probably went to their death thinking that they was right. Yeah. It's off the chain, man. Look, hey, Israel, I hope we can hear because, again, if we can get biblical marriage correct, whether you choose to have one Isha or whether you choose to have multiple Ishas, okay? If we can get marriage correct, we winning a whole lot because that's what this thing is about. All right? Hallelujah.
Hey, my girls, let me finish on this one right here. So there was this pastor down in Florida, got arrested. Apparently he had wrote a book. And I had like 4 or 5. It's amazing how people, they don't listen. You think that because they're part of Straightway that they're really immersing themselves and they're listening to the word that we're preaching and teaching, but they're not doing it. So as soon as a pastor, the headlines read, pastor gets arrested for having multiple wives. First thing they do is blow up my phone and send me. I had 3 people send me the shit. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, let me go look at this. I talked about it on Patreon. I didn't talk about it over here on the open platform or YouTube. I gave the answers on Patreon. First thing I did is I went and read the article. I went and combed everything. I only looked for one word for the whole time because I know everybody else is going to comb right over it. I looked for one word. Sure enough, it was in there. Sure enough, it's in there. Come to find out, the man had a marriage license with someone in Georgia and one in Florida. Oh, you done. You finished. You finished. Didn't know how to navigate. You done.
Yeah.
It's sad. All right, Israel, go ahead, man.
All right, y'all. It was another awesome Ask the Elect. We appreciate all y'all tuning in. And with that said, shalom, shalom.
Are you ready for a life-changing experience? Join us for the Straightway Spiritual Awakening Conference coming to the Nashville area. Mark your calendars for July 11, 2026. Doors open at 10 a.m. sharp. This is a powerful event focused on biblical community living, healing, and deliverance. Whether you are looking for freedom from mental illness and trauma, victory over addictions and strongholds, or physical healing for your body, this is your opportunity to find restoration and strength. Don't wait. Get registered today. Use the Eventbrite link on the flyer to register. We look forward to seeing you there.
Joy down in my soul, you made me whole. You give me joy, 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 joy. You give me joy, joy down in my soul, you made me whole. No, brother, I'm saying no to the end. I'm saying no, brother. I'm saying no, brother. I'm saying no, brother. I'm saying no to the end. I'm saying no, brother. I'm saying no, brother. Let your joy